Dublin City Council decided to put Bram Stoker Festival up on the Beckett Bridge behind them. It was wonderful to see. I may even thank them at some stage. The reason we're here tonight is simply the fact that Bram Stoker, the man who wrote Dracula, and of course it's probably apt the fact that it started Halloween week and the Halloween bank holiday weekend, that Bram Stoker, on this very site where this building is today, is where the original Dublin University Boat Club was. And Bram would come down here in the 1860s and would row for Trinity. He rowed in boats of 2s and 4s and competed in a number of regattas on the River Liffey. He was described, and I'll tell you later more about it, but he was described that he would row in the flotsam and jetsam and dead rats of the Liffey, which is quite an apt description of what the Liffey was at the time. He also acted on stage here, so his love of theatre, which he spent much of his life in as a manager of a theatre in London called the Lyceum, he spent much of his time over there in later life, but his love of acting, again, started here in Ringsend. So we're going to celebrate that tonight. So what I have here tonight is I have two people who are going to unveil this plaque which we're putting up. It's been put up by the Ringsend and District Historical Society, and we thank Lorraine Barry and the Ringsend and Irishtown Community Centre for putting the plaque up here. Also we have Mr. Douglas Appleyard, who is a cousin of Bram Stoker, and the two of them are going to unveil the plaque. So we're going to unveil the plaque, and then Mr. Appleyard is going to have a few words. So if Lorraine and Douglas will come over.
1, 2, 3.
Honoured I am that down here in Ringsend you've found another link with Bram Stoker. I'm interested in from the genealogical point of view. I'm not into his horror writing. In fact, I don't think I could finish Dracula a second time because I get the creeps. But if you Google Dracula, you'll find there are over 90 million references. No other Irish writer has a character as well known, and yet so many people say to me, I never knew Bram Stoker was Irish. He was, and so was his father and his grandfather. His grandfather lived up in Queen Street. So I really am thrilled at this opportunity, and I hope someone will do a Bram Stoker trail, because there's a plaque in Trinity, and there's a plaque in Dublin Castle. There's a bust of him in St. Anne's Church in Dawson Street where he was married. And if you go to Bram's Cafe in Marino, you'll also see him. So thank you all, and Eddie, thank you for the invitation. So let's give another big cheer for Bram Stoker.
Now, if anybody want to make the way upstairs and grab a seat, I'll be up there shortly, and I'm delivering a lecture on the story of Bram Stoker in Ringsend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Fabulous.
So you're all very welcome. So what we're celebrating here today, before I go any further, I'd like to also welcome Mr. Giuliani, the Maltese ambassador to Ireland, who's very welcome here to Ringsend. So what about Bram Stoker in Ringsend? This is Bram. He was born in 1847, November 1847, Black 47 as most people remember it as, because it was one of the worst years of the Irish famine. And while he wrote a number of books, his probably most famous book, of course, is Dracula, which has never been out of print, and is one of the most characterised fictional characters on screen, with over 22,000 different adaptations of Dracula across the world in one shape or another, whether it's on film, TV, stage, or in books. So Bram himself was born in 15 Marino Crescent in just in Clontarf. He was a sickly child, so for the first 7 years of his life he spent most of the time in bed, with his mother telling him great stories, ghost stories, stories of her life in Sligo, filling his head with all these great anecdotes about, especially about the cholera, and I'll get onto that in a while. This woman is Florence Balcom, and she was the love interest of another great Irish writer, Oscar Wilde. And Oscar, of course, lived on Merrion Square. But, and this is a painting from the Bram Stoker estate that Wilde done of Florence Balcom, but she didn't marry him. In December 1878, she married Bram Stoker in St. Anne's Church in Dawson Street. And by that stage, Bram had met a man called Henry Irving, and this is Henry Irving. Henry Irving had come to Dublin in 1876. He was a Shakespearean actor, and he came to do 12 shows in Dublin in the Theatre Royal, and one of those shows was specially for Trinity students and graduates, and Bram went to it. By that stage now, he was also a theatre critic, so it was suiting both men. And they went and they met in the Shelbourne Hotel in November 1876, and a friendship grew then for the next 30 years, where Bram eventually went to London after he married Florence, lived here in Chain Lane in London in 22 with his wife and his only son, who was named Irving Noel, and his brother George was living there as well, and they must be doing quite well because they had 3 servants according to the census reports in 1871, or 1881 I should say. Henry Irving himself was the first, basically non-politician. He was the first actor definitely to be knighted in England for his work doing Shakespeare. And when Bram got married, shortly after his marriage he left Dublin, and that was the last time he would see Dublin. He went to become manager in the Lyceum Theatre, which was really one of the great starting points for the West End in London. He died in 1912, April 1912, just a week after the sinking of the Titanic on the 20th of April. This is his ashes. They're in Golders Green Crematorium in London with his son Noel Thornley Stoker. Bram was a great writer. We can't take that away from him. And he became involved in all these famous playwrights, including Arthur Conan Doyle. And he actually done a very huge interview with Conan Doyle, which really helped propel Conan Doyle to stardom in America, because this article was in the New York Guide. So what would Bram Stoker and vampires have? So these are 2 cartoons from 1885. And it's strange, they both appeared in British newspapers. On the left, you'll see it's an English vampire. On the right, you'll see it's an Irish vampire. So this is The Happy Man by Samuel Lover. And if I can get my colleague, where's my colleague? Mr. Connolly, would you join me up here, please? So one of the songs that was in Happy Man is a song called The Birth of St. Patrick, and it kind of gives you a sense of this song. Now was actually one of the songs was sung by Paddy Murphy in the play, so it was obviously Bram Stoker sang it. So I'll give you a sense of what the plays were like if you get to listen to the words of it, and it's quite funny. But Mr. Shay Connolly from the Ringsend Irishtown is now going to play it for me.
On the 8th day of March, it was some people say that St. Patrick at midnight he foresaw the day, while others declared 'twas the night he was born, and 'twas all a mistake between midnight and morn. Mistakes will occur in a hurry and shock, and some blame the baby and some blame the clock. To all their cross questions, no one could too quick or the collapse was too slow. The first faction fight in Ireland, they say, was all on account of St. Patrick's birthday. Some fought for the egg, or the nuns for the joy. They wouldn't see which or the black and white. The class both the factions so positively grew, that each kept the birthday so Pat them had to. Till Father Mulcahy showed them their sins, and no one got to birthday except for two twins. Don't be fighting for 8 or for 9. Don't be always dividing after sometimes combine. Combine make look nice and mean is the mark. But let that be the birthday, amen, second to mark. Sure he wasn't the twin, sure our history will show. But at least he's worth any 2 cents that we know. Then we all got blind drunk as we deleted the list. Up the practice from that